What's up, YouTube friends? Now I have another back to school project for you that's essential for this day and age. Most of our students are required to take headphones to class with them these days. And as a lot of you parents know, kids go through headphones pretty fast. They get lost and broken almost daily. So today, I'm going to show you how to whip up this little headphone pouch. It's a little zippered pouch that they can keep their headphones in that'll keep them from getting tangled. It also has a key ring here at the top so that they can clip it onto their backpack or their belt loop, so there's no excuse for them losing those headphones. And it saves you parents some money. I'll show you how fast and easy it is to whip up next. So the things you're going to need to make this headphone pouch are 2 pieces of outer fabric that measure 5 inches square, 2 pieces of lining fabric that measure 5 inches square, 2 pieces of fusible interfacing that measure 5 inches square, and today I'm just using the featherweight fusible interfacing, and it's 911FF. You're also going to need a piece of fabric that measures 2.5 inches square, and this is going to be for our key ring. You also need a key ring, and you're also going to need a zipper. Now this is a 7-inch zipper, and I got a bag of 100 of them for under $10, and I got these on Amazon. And you're also going to need a 4-inch circle template. I went ahead and just cut this out of cardboard, but if you have a cup or a bowl that measures 4 inches, just use that. But I will show you how to make this. I'll also be using my pinking shears, a friction pin, my iron and ironing board, and sewing machine with matching thread. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my circle template. And some of you that watched my Goodwill haul, you might remember that I got this metal compass. So let's see if it works. So I need a 4-inch circle. So I'm going to come right down here. I measured out 2 inches. I'm going to stick it down on my cardboard. And this is just lightweight cardboard from a cereal box. I'm going to draw my circle. Well, it did bump right here because that is the seam of the box, but I think it's going to work out just fine. So now with your scissors, you just want to go ahead and cut that out. Next, you want to grab your outside fabric. Today I'm going to be using this Spider-Man fabric, and I'm going to lay it so that the right side is facing down. I'm going to grab both pieces, and then I'm going to grab my interfacing. So there is a soft side and a bumpy side on your interfacing. The bumpy side is the glue. So I'm going to put that face down, just like that. And now I'm just going to iron this down per the manufacturer's instructions. So I'm just going to cover it with a pressing cloth. And I'm going to lay my iron on there for 10 seconds. Then I'm going to lift up my iron and move it over to the part that did not get ironed for 10 more seconds. And then just to make sure it's nice and stuck down, I just go over it a few times. And you're going to do that to both pieces. Then you just want to take one of your squares, I'm going to do this one right here, and I'm going to cut it in half. Now I do have a directional print with the Spider-Man print, so I want it facing up. I'm going to come in 2.5 inches. And with my rotary cutter, cut it. Just like that. Now you just want to grab one of your lining pieces and do the same thing. So now just set your full square off to the side for a minute and grab your zipper. So I'm going to take one of my lining pieces. I'm going to line up my zipper in the middle. If your lining has a print on it, you want the print facing up and your zipper on top. And make sure that your pull tab is on top also. Next, you want to grab one of your outside pieces. And I'm going to line it up right on top with the right side facing down. So you can see that my zipper is sandwiched in between, and stick a pin. So now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine, and using my zipper foot, I'm going to sew right down this side, backstitching at the beginning and the end. Alright guys, so I'm over here at my sewing machine. Today I'll be using a straight stitch and my length is a 2.5, and I went ahead and I put on my zipper foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the right side of my zipper foot along the edge of my fabric. So I'm going to backstitch in the beginning. And just keep sewing. And backstitch at the end. Alright guys, so it should look like that. You can probably see it a little better on the back. So now I'm just going to open up my fabrics and I'm just going to finger press them at this point. So that's my top fabric. Turn it around and do the bottom. So now I'm just going to take this over to my ironing board and I'm going to iron it open, but just be careful that you don't melt your zipper. Now that I have it pressed, I'm going to take this back over to my sewing machine and I'm going to top an 1/8 inch away, backstitching at the beginning and the end. So I'm still going to be using that straight stitch, and this time I'm about an 1/8 inch away from where my fabric is. I don't know how well you can see that on camera. So I'm going to backstitch again. And just so. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side with the other fabrics. So now that I have both sides sewn down, I'm just going to set this off to the side for just a minute. I'm going to grab my 2.5 inch square with the right side facing down. I'm going to fold it in half and press. I'm going to open it back up, then I'm going to take this seam, I'm going to fold it up into that seam that we just pressed in there, and press. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm just going to refold it on that original press line and press. And you can use some steam right here. So now you just want to take your little tab over to your sewing machine and I'm going to sew an 1/8 inch seam allowance down both of the long sides. Alright guys, so now I'm just going to switch back to my regular foot. And with that same straight stitch, I'm going to top stitch an 1/8 inch seam allowance on both sides of my little tab here. Now you could backstitch if you wanted to, but it's really not necessary for this little piece. So now I'm just going to grab my piece with the zipper. I'm going to open my zipper about halfway down. You just want to make sure that it's somewhere in between here because we are going to trim up the zipper. Then you want to grab your other outside piece. I'm going to lay that on top so that the right sides are touching. Grab your lining square, lay that on top. And then you just want to grab your template. Now I went ahead and I put a line right in the middle of my circle. So I'm going to line that up with my zipper. Something just like that. I'm going to grab my friction pin and trace around. Now you could just use a regular pin if that's all you had, because this is going on the inside and you won't even see it. Now I'm just going to take my little tab, I'm going to fold it in half and make a little triangle, just like that. Now with our fold inward, I'm going to lay it right on top of my zipper. So I'm just going to open this up. So I got it sandwiched in between my outer pieces. I have it right on my zipper. And you just want to make sure that 1/4 to 1/2 inch of it is sticking past our circle. Mine's good. And pin. So now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew directly on my circle. Now you don't want to start right up here. That's a whole lot of fabric with our tab and our zipper. So start somewhere on the sides or even down here at the bottom. And don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and the end. So now I'm just going to sew directly on the line with that same straight stitch. I'm going to start a little bit away from where our tab is. And I'm going to backstitch. And all I'm doing is lining up the line that we drew with the center of my presser foot. Alright, so now I'm just going to stop with my needle down. I'm going to raise my presser foot and I'm going to go back over this one more time. This time I'm just going to take out my pins. And I actually got a comment one time from a lady that told me that I wasn't a real sewer because I didn't remove my pins sometimes. Well, I guess I've been faking it this whole time. So just to reinforce this area, I'm just going to go over my tab another time. And I'm just going to finish sewing on my circle and backstitch at the end. So now I'm just going to grab my pinking shears, and I want to warn you all about something that I learned the hard way. Now I had to buy some new pinking shears recently, and this was actually a 2-pack. It was about $10. I got the zigzag pinking shears, and it also came with the scalloped edge, which I've never seen before. They are pink and purple, but I don't care. Now you might be asking what happened to my old pair. Well, let me tell you. Now I didn't have my old pair more than 6 months. They were pretty cheap. I got them off of Amazon, and I think they were $6 or $7. Now I realized with my old pair that they were getting kind of dull, so I looked on how to sharpen them. And I saw this pin on Pinterest that said that you could just take some tin foil, fold it in half, and cut it with your pinking shears, and that will sharpen them. It was a bunch of bull pooey. Do not do that. After I did that, mine wouldn't even cut paper. It ruined them. So as you can imagine, if I can find the person that posted that, I have a few choice words for them. But anyway, life goes on, and back to our project. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pink all the way around, being sure not to go through my thread, and I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch. Just like that. And now you just want to turn it right side out. And using my bone folder or a chopstick, or you could just use your finger, I want to make sure that these are nice and rounded. And then I'm just going to give the whole thing a nice press. So now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine one final time, and I'm going to top stitch with an 1/8 inch seam allowance all the way around, backstitching at the beginning and the end. And I'm just going to start on one of these little seams that we use to top stitch our zipper. Alright guys, so now finally I'm going to top stitch with the 1/8 inch seam allowance all the way around. And I'm not going to start right on the zipper. I'm going to start like right here on one of these top stitches that we did. And back stitch. And then just slowly and carefully top stitch all the way around. Now finally you just want to take your key ring. Now this part's always hard for me because I bite my nails. And we're going to thread it on our loop. And now our headphone holders or pouch is complete. So here's one that I made for myself. And here are my earbuds that I use. And as you can see, they're not tangled up. So what I do is just take my headphones, I wrap them around my finger. I'll just put them in my little holder. Zip it up and I'm ready to go. And this is actually the perfect size that I could just stuff it in my pocket and I know my headphones aren't going to get tangled. Now here's another one that I made with the Iowa State fabric, and I did not put the interfacing in here. I was going to try not to do it if I didn't have to. It does work, but I do recommend sticking the interfacing in. Now these are pretty easy to whip up and pretty fast, and it makes a perfect stash buster project. I got all these fabrics from my scrap bin. This will make the great gift for any student, especially if you make them a matching lanyard and bookmark with pencil holder, and I'll link those videos at the end of this one. So if you like this video and want to see more of my videos, go down below and hit the big red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified as to when I post a video, hit that bell notification button. If you have a question about this video or any of my other videos, or would like to leave a suggestion for a future upcoming video, leave me a comment. Head on over to Patreon at Scrappy's Patch if you'd like to support this channel. For as little as $1 a month, we'll keep these videos coming. Friend me over on Facebook and Twitter at Scrappy's Patch if you'd like to share crafting ideas and pictures. I'd love to see the things you guys are making. If you'd just like to leave a tip or a donation to support this channel, I also have a PayPal link down below. Feel free to share this video across your social medias. And as always, thanks for watching, happy sewing, and I'll see you next time.